I'd like to introduce to the committee, Mr. John Evans came forward and replaced Brian Bissonette. And if things work out, we'll appoint him at the next county board meeting on Thursday night. Jim.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Certification of compliance open meeting law.
This meeting has been noticed to the public and news media as required by section 19.84 of the Wisconsin statutes.
Thank you. The agenda is set, public comment. We have our new county clerk here. Hi, Liz, thank you. And number 7, consider approval of the minutes of the previous meeting of November 6th.
I make a motion to approve minutes.
A motion by Mr. Hellwig, second by Mr. Newman to approve the minutes as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion? Opposed? Motion carries. Number 8, maintenance department report. Mr. Alvarado.
Yep, Mr. Hagberg has included his maintenance report in the packet. Kind of a lot of the same items with the routine maintenance and knocking out some smaller projects within the courthouse. They're finishing up. We added a extra bedroom at the ambulance garage as we have more 24-hour, more ambulance personnel working 24-hour shifts. That's one of the ways we've tried to retain staff is by having them work the 24-hour shifts. So we need additional bedroom for the second crew. And then inside the building, if you're down the hallway by the clerk of courts, they're redoing the hallway. They finished up the DA's office, and the next project there is relocating one of the child support offices. So we have additional space for the Justice Point staff at the end of the hallway. We did have an open position since October 23rd. We interviewed for applicant yesterday, and I think plan is to extend an offer to that applicant, at least for a winter position. That's somewhat unique availability of the applicant, so we're going to try to be flexible and work with that individual to make it through the winter. Tim has had a lot of work with Johnson Controls to get our sensors to work into our essentially our computer aided system that controls all of the HVAC systems in the building. So there was just some adjustments we're adding into the IT rooms, as well as making sure all those sensors are reporting accurately and controlled. We did have to update the cooling tower in the 95 edition, and that was completed by Johnson Controls as well. Now that the budget's passed for 25, we move ahead on making purchases, and so because it takes a little time for some of those vehicles to show up, the Sheriff's Department vehicles, they've been ordered, and it seems like the back coming out of COVID in those years, it would take up to a year to get some of those vehicles. Looks like things are caught up, so we expect to get those in earlier next year. And yeah, the other thing on there is the ambulance bedroom, which has been completed and just is waiting inspection and installation of the sprinkler head, and then inspection after that. And beyond that, it's the winter time, so it's making sure sidewalks are cleared, parking lots are salted, coordinating with Derek out at the airport to make sure our snow contractor is getting snow removed and addressing any de-icing issues and sand placement out there.
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Alvarado. Number 9, Sawyer County Airport, Mr. Leslie.
Hey, good evening, folks. First off, any questions?
Mr. Highlights, please.
Like Andy said, coordinating a lot with Tim. Tim's been out there, he's helping with gate. I know we just brought the snow blower down for the cat loader to the maintenance garage today so they could get that thing spun up and ready to go. Put a bunch of money into it last year and then never ran it. Running it versus actually putting it into service, two different things. Engine runs great. It's the clutches on it to make the fans go. We've had issues, so we're crossing our fingers that what we put into it last year works for this year. we're not gonna know until we send it into a snowbank. Cold weather's here, airport's certainly a lot slower. I was out last night at the airport a little bit later than usual. I think I counted 3 taxiway lights, 3 runway lights, and a bunch of obstruction light poles out. A beacon light, one of the 2 beacon lights is out. And, cold weather hits and it's just like dominoes, they start falling. So we got the new runway project coming in. We're gonna get all new LED lights for the runway. So I've been kind of skimping on having backups for the runway lights. Well, I went to go look today. I don't have any runway light bulbs. So I'll probably order just a handful to get us through because we won't be able to use those bulbs for anything else once the new stuff comes in. So I've been running our stock down pretty low on everything because we're gonna get all the old runway lights, which 3/4 of it, except for just the top, will work for all of our taxiway lights too. Those lights are like $1,100 or $1,200 a piece for the ones we have now, and I think for the LED ones that we're getting, they're like $3,000 a piece. So I'm gonna make sure that Mr. Cryer knows not to knock them over. Otherwise, it seems like for me, the airport, so much from a business standpoint, it's a lot slower, but it's always a little bit more stressful. It seems like this time of year, it's a lot more time spent just watching the weather and coordinating, especially with the based operator at the airport and their flights, trying to get them in and out. There's certainly a heightened stress associated with whenever a snowstorm's coming. So, but I think we've been doing pretty good so far. Revenues out at the airport, I know that our taxes should be what the taxes are. I know Andy's been working on that. The FBO business, we should have met or exceeded, I think, just about every category from last year. It was a pretty good year, a good summer at the airport anyways. I don't think that's gonna happen next year. I think we're gonna be down across the board substantially. I don't know if we addressed that much in our budgeting. But in the budget period, I don't see any big things coming. Knock on wood, I say that now. The furnaces in the terminal building are getting towards the end of their life. We had those worked on a little bit, but I think we could horse them through another year. Otherwise, airport, any questions? Thoughts? We don't have a room full of people, so
I'll just add, to follow up on Derek, so with the elimination of the personal property tax now, any improvement structures on real estate that is leased becomes part of the real property. So we had a real estate, so normally we would not get a real estate tax bill for the airport because we are tax exempt, but we did get one from the town of Hayward for the value of the hangars that we lease. So we've calculated each hangars, through the town assessor, we get a report of how much each hangar assessment, how they valued each hangar to come up with the total. And so now we're apportioning that tax that's due to the hangar owners, sending those bills out. So hopefully that's not a problem, but it's just with the elimination of the with the elimination of the personal property tax, now we get a real estate bill. We've not received it yet, but we'll be getting one like in the town of Radisson, I believe, for the highway shop, because there's a cell phone tower on our land that we'll need to pass the tax along to the cell phone tower owner that has the lease on that spot. The other thing, just for Derek, when we did our tour out there, you might have noticed that he had a new piece of equipment in the parking lot that day for a de-icing operation. And I heard you had your first de-icing. So it expands his capacity as Hayward Aviation for planes coming in or out, that he can now provide de-icing to them.
I've spent a fair amount of time on that topic, working with Mark Manning from the ED at the hospital. Just getting notice out to all the operators regionally that bring fixed wings in for med flights, because typically we're just off the map, period. If a fixed wing ever needs to come, it's because there's either low visibility or icing conditions and a helicopter can't come. So now that we have de-icing, that's gonna, the airplanes that most medevacs use are turboprop. They don't really care much what the runway looks like. They could take off on 3 inches of snow. They're like 4-wheel drive pickup trucks. But if they have ice on them, they can't do anything. So that was one of the ones that we did the other day. And, if we do that a handful of times a winter, that makes a difference. So, I spent a bunch of time on it just today, trying to work on getting our book put together and our pamphlet, but we spent quite a bit of time with our SPCC and SWPPP from the last year, making sure we got all of our ducks in a row from the EPA and DNR and all the other ones. So we are excited about that anyways.
Sterling.
Is that gonna be a surprise to those hangar owners?
The tax bill? Shouldn't be because they were getting a tax bill before. Instead of getting it from the town, they're getting it from the county now.
No, otherwise things are going good. Ready for next year. I think we'll try to get Mr. Pino out to do some brushing for us. But we'll see. We did a lot this last year. Some of the areas where it's wetter, we'd like to get while it's frozen. So we'll try to use what we have in the budget to have Pino's crew come out on an off time maybe this winter. I can't think of anything else.
Thank you.
Yep.
Number 10, Highway Commissioners Report. Mr. Perry.
Good evening. So the crews are just finishing up on County H brushing. If you guys get a chance or been down that road, it's opened up quite a bit. We're moving on to CC now. We started at 6 Mile heading towards, we're just past Tiger Muskie right now. We're gonna take that all the way to New Post. And then also this week we did county brushing for LCO by the development. And I talked to Jason Weaver and Brian Bissonette, and we're gonna be taking down some big trees there too off the right of way. He wanted us to flag them and they were gonna take a look at them and give us permission to cut those trees off the right of way. So a lot of big dead pine trees there and stuff. And then we installed our, we're gonna be installing the truck entry signs there at the development. As I said, crews have been performing some small snowstorms. Well, really, it's just been one continuous storm here, seems like, for the past week. Everything from freezing rain, sleet, snow. So it's been a little bit of a struggle, but the guys have been doing a good job. We finished all our salt sand mixing. We do have a big pile of screened sand out there, so if we do have to mix more, townships have been hauling in and out of there steady throughout these past couple weeks. We did get our brine truck completed and it is full of brine. We've used it once so far. We did purchase the brine from Washburn County, so it works out pretty good. We got 3,800 gallons sitting in our truck right now, so. I
You have
did
it
send,
stored inside?
what's that?
You have it stored inside?
No, we have it in the cold storage, so shouldn't freeze. It's a 70-30 mix with bead heat, so. I did send out the winter maintenance policies again to the Gazette and the Record, and it's also posted on our Facebook page. And then the ARIP committee meeting was held this month, just waiting to see if we were successful in the C application I had submitted. I did update our mailbox policy to just simplify things, but we can talk about that next. Our online permit application and process that we have, we've been working with Mike Colson from IT, and we went through this whole, it's been about probably 2 months of training. So all our permits are gonna be online now. We're just waiting on, and Andy might know more about this on the point to pay on that back end. Maybe not? Okay. Well, we're through and we're ready to go live, but there was an issue with the point to pay because currently what Sawyer County has for point to pay is a little bit different than Laserfish, what we have. So we're just waiting for that to whatever they decide there. And then we'll be ready to go live. So everything will be done right online. It'll save us a lot of heartache and stuff out at the highway shop and a lot of filing papers. I did get all 5 of our barn owl cameras up. They're all at different parts of the county that we're able to look at anytime, videos, pictures, see what the road conditions look like. They've been helpful here in the last couple weeks, so that's a good thing. We do have 1 vacancy now in Hayward, our Hayward location, but we've got a ton of applicants. And then all of the locations are fully staffed. The night watch person position closes tomorrow at 9, and we do have some people interested in that, so. Other than that, that completes my report. Any questions?
Anything you would like to add?
The barn owl cameras, are you able to share the feed with the sheriff's department or is that?
Yes. I can share them with the sheriff's department and everything. I can show you guys here after the meeting too. I got them on my computer right now. All I do is click a button and I can look at all 5 different areas of our county, everything from up north to Birchwood. Got them out in Draper, Stone Lake. And yeah, I'm looking at them right now and it's snowing up in 48 and Stonehill Road in Birchwood right now. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah, it's pretty neat. The state paid for them all, so it's even better. Yeah.
So in addition to the barn owl cameras, law enforcement are going with flock cameras for law enforcement purposes. So we had a request 2 months ago from LCO Police Department or their vendor to install the flock cameras in the right of way. So flock cameras can essentially, they're like license plate readers, so they can identify vehicles that are they're on the lookout for. So they worked with John to get the permission to put them in the right of way. So LCO, I don't know if they're installed yet, but I believe Hayward PD and the Sheriff's Department are all getting these flock cameras to deploy around the county.
We're not gonna know.
Yeah, so all LCO's flock cameras are installed. One's at CC and N, one's at N and E, one's at B by Subway, one's in Northwoods Beach. They got 4 out there. I just I just sent a permit to Hayward City PD. They're putting one on B, I believe by Dave's Outboard. I think it is, or somewhere right in there. I don't know where I did see the Sheriff's Department come in. They're all on State Road though.
Yep.
The Sawyer County Sheriff's Department, so.
Are those visible?
Yeah, you can't miss them.
But maybe at some point, public safety wants to hear from the Sheriff's Department, but we asked the same kind of questions you're thinking. And they're primarily for identifying traffic, not for, you're not gonna get a speeding ticket in the mail. So. But I think that's just like the flock cameras, so the ones that LCO and the ones that are all put out in the county, all the jurisdictions have access to each other's cameras, and these are statewide. So if you put out an alert for a license plate, if it catches a camera in Manitowoc County, it's gonna come back to here. We'll be notified.
That's a great idea.
So in other words, Chuck's gotta be careful on the road. A new mailbox policy.
All right, so I was asked to review our mailbox policy and all I did is kind of simplified things. Our current mailbox policy was, quite a bit of information of who's responsible, who's not responsible, what to do, et cetera, et cetera. I just pretty much simplified it and added a nice sketch to the mailbox policy so people know. It's a lot easier to understand. And, reference statute 8604 about encroachment. We're not responsible for mailboxes. We don't issue a permit, neither does the US Postal Service. So, because we get bombarded with mailboxes, especially after the first snow. If you drive around the county, a lot of them are just kind of hanging there and you get a little snow and they fall down. Well, then I got 10 voicemails saying you wrecked our mailbox, but our plows haven't even been through there yet this morning. So I just simplified things to make it more clear. Any questions?
I have a question. Those people that put those pallets and different boards and all that, is that okay or?
So no, and I can issue, it's all in that 8604. You can issue, can't think what it's called off the top of my head right now, that they have to remove it within 30 days.
So that can damage them.
Yep. So we have removed some. But no, the homeowner is responsible if somebody hits that and injures himself. And, after reading some of this and, in the last, curious about mailboxes. So every year there's about 2 fatalities in the state of Wisconsin due to a mailbox hit, which I didn't know. I kind of looked some stuff up and.
And then with those things, it's possibility to be even more.
Yep. But it is on the landowner if they put anything over their mailbox or, make a fancy brick mailbox or a steel pole filled with concrete and yeah.
So what are we gonna do with the ones that have little pallets in front of their mailbox?
We can issue, that's again an 8604, we can issue it that they have to remove, they got 30 days to remove. If they don't remove them, we remove them. So
So why don't you read us the policy? It's not too thick.
Okay, mailboxes are allowed on county highway right of way as a matter of convenience to landowners or occupants. Placement of the mailbox on the right of way is not a right. Permits are not granted to property owners from the highway department or US Postal Service for placement of mailboxes. Mailboxes are encroachment on highway right of way as governed by section 8604 of the Wisconsin state statutes. So placement, mailboxes shall be of light sheet metal or plastic construction conforming to the standards of the US Postal Service. Heavy, large, or ornamental mailboxes are not recommended. These mailboxes are a hazard to the traveling public. They can be distracting, and lighter mailboxes are designed to cause minimal damage if hit by a car. Mailbox should be placed so the front of the mailbox is at the shoulder point with no encroachment onto the shoulder. At the height should be 42 to 48 inches from the ground to the bottom of the mailbox. Additional guidance for installation can be obtained from the US Postal Service. Swinger mailboxes are highly recommended by the Highway Department as they will significantly reduce the chance of damage from winter maintenance. Mailboxes need to be mounted on a single 4-inch by 4-inch and 4-inch diameter wooden post or metal post with strength no greater than 1.5-inch diameter standard strength steel pipe and embedded no more than 24 inches into the ground. Posts should not be set in concrete. Metal posts should be fitted with an anchor plate, but they may have anti-twist device that extends no more than 10 inches below the ground surface. Mailboxes need to be maintained by the property owner in a condition to withstand the forces of snow and slush from snow plowing operations. So mailboxes damaged by the highway maintenance operations. Mailboxes accidentally damaged in the process of removing snow, mowing the right-of-way, graveling the shoulder, or any act of maintaining the right-of-way shall be the landowner's or occupant's obligation to repair or replace. Tubes or boxes for newspaper delivery are also covered by this policy. This policy shall apply to highway maintenance by the Sawyer County Highway Department. And then I just have a sketch of on here of, yeah, there it is.
So you need a motion? I'll make a motion that we approve this. I'll second.
A motion by Mr. Van Etten, second by Mr. Newman to approve the new mailbox policy. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Anything you want to add?
At this time, unless anybody's got any other questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 11, board appointment committee updates. Any other committees that you've been out traveling on and that you want to share with the committee? Hearing none, future agenda items. Does anybody have anything that they want on the agenda for the month of January? If you don't have one now and you think of something, please contact Andy or I, and we'll certainly try to get it on the agenda for you.
And
Yes.
so what's the situation with the communication? I mean, is it in the economic development court or is it back with us? I mean,
Wanna give
is
us
it
a-
going anywhere? Because we need to get something going.
The Economic Development Committee discussed it on Monday, heard from Bug Tussle. They wanted to, that's what came out of the prior month's meeting, that they wanted to re-engage with Bug Tussle to see if there were still options that could be put back on the table. And so there was nothing definitive out of that meeting, except that I don't know if it was a motion, but basically the next step is to have a joint meeting with Public Safety and Economic Development Committee with Bug Tussle before the January, but between now and the January committee meetings. Because they want to get something moving ahead.
Right. Yeah, good. I'm just gonna have to give you that face because there's, what's going on between them.
Yeah, and just, it's never been part of the Public Works jurisdiction. There might be something, I know we've had a few late meetings here. I mean, we got the airport stuff until the master plan comes back next year sometime, and we don't have much to discuss anymore with the ATVs. Those are consuming a lot of our time before.
I apologize. I probably should, in our court, thinking.
Yeah, so there's always been there still is the proposal for the public safety network that we discussed at the October board meeting of going with GenCom to establish those tower sites and implement the new equipment. That still is our solution. The question has been put them on our own tower sites or lease tower sites or partner with Bugtussle and use their tower network and their broadband for the backhaul.
Well, the thing is, we know that, well, from all the discussion we've already had, that if we go ahead and do ours, that we can hook up with Bugtussle in the future also on their towers, so. I don't see
Yeah.
why it's not just going
I think
forward with
it's-
the original public safety
The
decision.
it's partly true. Bugtussle has a couple towers, but not necessarily in the spots where we need them. So they would build new towers in the locations where we need them, in addition to the ones they already have. So.
Thank you for your valuable time. Yes.
I just did want to mention one thing. We, as Andy knows, we've had a lot of bridge issues in the county here. We have a new inspector. I'm meeting again with him on January 2nd. I did go to the town of Winter meeting tonight just to help John out down there because we had to close the Thornapple Grade Bridge. Yesterday's officially closed. He has two other bridges on Clover Road that one's a 1-lane bridge and the other one is, I think it's 10-ton bridge. So I just want to go down there and answer any questions because I know there was some heartache over that one being closed. But we are working as fast as we can. The program doesn't come out again till the end next fall to help town of Winter try to get up to speed. And then the Phipps Bridge now is posted at 10 on Phipps Road, town of Lenrud. I've been working with Gordon and Eric up there. It is posted now at 5 tons, so that's another bridge. And then we do have a couple county bridges with maintenance items, some pretty big maintenance items. The bridges aren't that old that we're working on, and we're gonna develop a game plan moving forward to see what we can do to try to get the life out of these bridges and save some money, so.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned. Thank you for your valuable time.